Hi, welcome to my channel, and in this video I'm going to talk a bit about my story up until this point. This kind of builds off of a video I made about 3 years ago called Why I Can Only Use One Hand, and I'll summarize a bit of what I said in that video. So starting with that, when I was born, I was too big for my mom to have naturally, and so some complications arose from that, and the nerves in my neck on this side that control this arm were severed, and that's why I can't use this hand. And I was dead for a few minutes, 6 minutes, and they didn't think I was gonna be able to be resuscitated, but I ended up coming back to life, and they said that I would have severe brain damage and seizures my whole life, and the brain damage would make it to where I was essentially brain dead, and I likely wouldn't live very long. And as you can see, that didn't turn out to be the case. And I also don't have any seizures. The last time I had a seizure was when I was in the hospital before I came home as a baby. And so I kind of said that in my Why I Can Only Use One Hand video, but some things that have happened in my life since I made that video is, and before I say this, I'm not trying to brag on myself or anything like that. I'm just using these examples to illustrate the point I'm trying to make. And yeah, I've always attributed my survival of that harsh circumstance and my mental state being okay and not having the brain damage or the seizures and living much longer than they thought I would to God healing me. I mentioned in my last video that I'm a Christian, and so I've always attributed that situation to God healed me. And some other very interesting things have happened within the past few years. I started college when I was 16, which I mentioned in a video about a couple years ago. So I started college at 16, and I graduated with my first degree when I was 18. I got an Associate of Science degree, and now I'm working on another degree that the plan is I'll be getting that just before my 21st birthday this fall. So I've been blessed to be able to do those things, and I really wanted to share it just to show, firstly, that for people that are given really bad news and they just don't see a good way out of that, you know, they think they're just doomed and destined for this bad news to come true. I want people to hear my story to know that that's not always the case. You know, there are people that are told that they have, you know, terminal illnesses and they won't survive very long, and you know, maybe people are told they'll never walk again, or things like that. And you know, for me, I was one of those people that, you know, I was written off as, you know, this is just how it's going to be. It's not going to be good, but it's going to happen. And it didn't. So I want people to hear about that. And I've had influences in my life that have really inspired me to do this kind of thing and make these videos. There's this man, he is an evangelist from Australia. He was born without arms and legs, and I saw him in person when I was 10 years old, and have seen a bunch of videos of him, and it just blew me away at the things that he could do, and given his circumstance, and he just was very positive about it, and is just a very good role model. And since then, I would say I've wanted to be that kind of example and that kind of role model for someone else. And that's what I try to do in these videos, is to be that. I don't think I'm quite as influential as that guy is yet, but maybe someday I will be. But also another thing that I want to try to, get across, by making this video especially, is, like I said, I try the best I can to do things one-handed and, learn techniques and then share them with the people that watch. And I feel like I have done a decent job at that. But I want you to think about the circumstance when I was born. I had no control over that. There was no willpower or effort on my part that got me through that. And like I said, I have always attributed that to God healed me, and I want to send that message as well out to those that watch my videos. And I would say that's, the even more important reason, more important than me wanting to spread the message of don't give up and, try to do things. That's the number one thing I would say. Alright, I think that pretty much sums up what I want to say in this video. If you have any suggestions for future videos or questions, I can make a video on those things. I'm open to do another Q&A in the future if people ask me a lot of questions. I've done a couple already. But I'll see you in the next video.